Hello mate, what's your name?
My name is Mark Leonard.
And Mark, what brings you here tonight?
Well, I'm going to be commentating for Clan Wars 3 tonight.
And how did you get that kind of job, mate?
Well, I've been doing a lot of announcing for shows around the country. And recently I started running my own promotion in Galway, Tribal Warfare. And since doing that, I've stopped announcing a bit. So, since I'm pretty involved in the scene and I know a lot of the guys in competition here today, Paul asked me to do some commentary for him.
Okay, that's cool. And how many have you done before of these commentaries?
I've done a couple of commentary on some Ultimate Fight nights back in the early 2000s, back when MMA was just starting to be revitalised.
Okay, cool. And what got you into MMA in general?
Well, I was involved in traditional martial arts, taekwondo and the like, for a lot of years. I started working on the door or something, and I needed to find a grappling solution for the kind of work I was in. So that led me into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and that more or less evolved into mixed martial arts.
That's cool. And what grade are you in BJJ yourself?
I'm a blue belt.
Okay, that's cool. And tell me, would you characterise yourself as more a stand-up guy or a ground guy these days in terms of what you like?
Well, I tend to be all around when I fight. I like every fight starts on its feet, obviously. So I tend to just go where the fight goes, you know.
And as a commentator, obviously you want the fight to be interesting. Okay, do you think the recent rule changes in MMA have made it more interesting for people watching fights on the ground? Because I recall when the whole thing first begun, people like myself, who were originally boxing fans, used to get bored to hell watching the stuff on the ground. Now I must say I find it, generally speaking, a wee bit more interesting.
Well, I think we're dealing a lot more these days with a more educated audience. Like MMA is starting to find its feet a bit, and amongst casual spectators. So when it goes to ground, we tend to not hear booing as much as maybe we once would have. So I think, yeah, the fights can still be interesting, even when we're talking about some of the amateur or semi-pro fights that we have in the card tonight.
Okay, and there's a bit of a debate beginning, I think, everywhere about will MMA catch up with boxing, or in certain areas, has it caught up with boxing? Do you think in Ireland, both the Republic and up here in Northern Ireland, MMA and boxing are getting to be fairly equal now in terms of interest?
Well, I'd probably go as far as to say that it's outstripped boxing at this point. The main problem comes down to promotion. The big money promoters still tend to be involved in boxing in Ireland. Until MMA gets the money behind it, I don't think it can really compete in the same stage. But in terms of the level of interest, I think there's definitely more interest at the moment amongst the casual spectator in Ultimate Fighting or MMA.
And is there a plan by somebody out there to go ahead and get the big promoters more into MMA? Or is Clan Wars all part of that grand plan?
Well, it's certainly a step in the right direction. Big shows like Clan Wars, drawing in large crowds and just getting MMA out there more into the mainstream, it's definitely the right way to go, I think.
Okay, that's cool. And last question, mate. What do you think is more difficult, the commentating or the fighting?
Well, once the fight starts, it's definitely easier to be in the cage. But I wouldn't envy them now, trying to deal with their nerves just at the minute.
Okay, mate. Well, I hope you do a good job tonight. I'm sure you will. And we'll have a chat sometime during the show.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thanks very much, mate. Cheers. All right, guys.